You know, guys, earlier this morning, or yesterday morning now, it's a little after midnight, on this now 15th of March, 2020. But yesterday, I guess you could say, around 8:30 in the morning, I decided to do a video, basically a visual video on what I had done as a podcast exclusive, talking about a certain pandemic situation that we are going through right now. So, as I rested today and just kept myself busy because apparently there's not much on right now, sports wise or anything, I decided to type something up on Facebook. I made it public. I basically released it publicly. I released it to friends only. I copied and pasted it and put it on DeviantArt. I copied and pasted it and put it on for Affiniate. And now I'm going to address it here. This is what I said as a follow-up. If you go to the video I did this morning, the 19-minute video, as well as the podcast I did as an exclusive a couple days before. And it's called Real Talk. This is getting out of hand. And this is what I said, because now some of you say I don't work off a script, or I don't, work without writing something down. Well, here's proof of the fact that I do exactly that. But this is what I said. Real talk. This is getting out of hand. This is what I said at 8 hours ago, 8 hours and 52 minutes ago, which is 3:17 p.m. But this is what, and that's Pacific time. But this is what I said, and I quote. All right, this is what I said, and I quote, making sure everything is working here. Okay. Making sure everything is working before I do it. Everything is on, good. But yeah, anyway, this is what I said, and I quote. This is what I said. I'm reading off the version I put on DeviantArt. This is what I said, and I quote. Real talk. This is getting out of hand. Being someone who works in retail as a cashier, I've seen how overblown this whole situation has gotten with people. In fact, I had yesterday, before my first break, and this is the truth, I had to help a lady that had 2 carts, because we have to sometimes help with carryouts, right, depending on the items. One of them, which was a cart, shopping cart that is, one of them was with 11 cases of 40-pack GV water bottles. In other words, great value water bottles. The 40-pack cases. She had 11 of these, and I had to unload all 11 for her. While others, and this was later on, while others were buying the 1-gallon Crystal Geyser water in bulk and trying to scan the UPC on the box, not realizing those 1-gallon Crystal Geysers, are sold individually. Yeah, it got to a point that as soon as some of my fellow associates that work in the back were bringing out pallets of the boxed up Crystal Geysers that are shipped in packs of 6, that once they're on the floor, they open and then they display individually for individual sale. Yeah, people were buying those up. People were buying those up and trying to scan the box, the UPC code on the box, which does not work, to try to buy them. Now realizing, as I said, that they had to do them individually. Alright, continuing on, and I quote myself. But the one thing that I did suspect could also be the reason for people buying unnecessary bulks of water, TP paper, towels, paper towels that is, disinfect sprays and wipes and hand sanitizers and even canned foods. It isn't for survival and the such, but to sell them online at places like eBay for 3 times to 5 times as much as they are sold in store. Yeah, basically, yesterday before I went to work, I started thinking to myself, why is this happening? Why are people buying up so much? It can't just be out of fear and survival, right? It's not. What it is, and I'll mention this in a moment, what it is people are taking advantage of others and their fears. And by doing so, they're buying up all this product just so they can say, oh, you want this container of Lysol wipes? Wipes that's usually $4.99 on the shelf? It'll cost you $40. That's what it is. That's what it is. Now I continue and I quote, in fact, a fellow associate and even some customers confirmed this by saying they saw people selling individual containers of Lysol wipes for $50 online at sites like eBay. Yeah, one of my fellow associates and even some customers I talked to yesterday or on Friday confirmed this, and that's disturbing. Now, I continue on and I quote, so that just shows you right there that people aren't just buying up due to unneeded fear thanks to the media, who along with some Democrats, Republicans, and independents are using this to get you-know-who out of the White House instead of being true to the real facts of this, but to take advantage of the fear to make a quick buck by preying on those fears, which is wrong. And I hope law enforcement catches them in the act. So yeah, basically that's what's going on. Basically, people are taking advantage of the fear and anxiety others have over this whole situation by buying up all these bulks of stuff, not for survival, not to help out others, but for the quick buck. Like I mentioned earlier, people like some of my fellow associates and customers acknowledged that this was happening. And as I say at the end of this paragraph, I hope law enforcement steps in and catches them in the act. And it looks like, I don't know if this that I put publicly on Facebook got the word out or not. I'm pretty sure others got the word out. I'm hoping law enforcement does catch them in the act, and it looks like they're going to try to do that because this is ridiculous. Don't buy up bulks because you can be like, oh, you know this 40 pack of water that usually goes for about $3.59? I'll sell it to you, but for $50. That don't work. That is BS, and those people that are doing it know it. You want to make money? Guess what? There's an old saying that's called get a job. But still, people are doing this. And it's ridiculous. And you know what? It's not the first time they've done it, and won't be the last, apparently. Now, continuing on with the next paragraph, and I quote myself. Real truth, folks. Don't listen to the media outlets, mostly CNN, MSNBC, and etc. They are just to make, or trying to make, Trump look bad to get him out of office and maybe hope he resigns, which won't happen whether you voted for him or not, which is the truth. This whole situation that's gotten everybody in fear, you can thank the media for overhyping it and adding on all these crazed out statistics and numbers that may or may not be true or might be in the middle, just because they want Trump out. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen whether you like the guy or you don't, whether you voted for him or you didn't. It's not going to happen. He's not going to resign. He's not going to back out of the electoral race. It's not going to happen. They need to stop. And if the word is true today that he tested negative for this situation, if you know what I mean, if he tested negative according to the news that was reported yesterday, then maybe that might quell some fears, and maybe that might stop people from being like, well, there goes our one chance to get him out. Anyway, moving on. I do acknowledge that yes, we do need to be careful out there, but listen to the true fact, everyone, or the true facts, everyone. I continue on by saying, and I quote, also look at the deadline that most of the country is going with when it comes to closures, postponements, etc. It's about 2 weeks to at least a month. Gee, I wonder why. What could be coming around that time? Oh, that's right, spring, the spring season, which it means warmer weather, which some, if not most, doctors have said could help fight off this situation, for it doesn't like dry and warm weather. And that is true. One doctor was interviewed on 60 Minutes. You can actually see this clip here on YouTube, on the CBS News YouTube page. And this doctor acknowledged that with spring and summer coming around, hopefully that's going to help disperse, downplay this pandemic, this situation, because apparently this situation doesn't like basically any warm weather whatsoever. So warm and dry weather, that is. So hopefully this will help. This upcoming week may be in question here where I'm at, but I think it's going to get better over time. Now I do continue on and say, and I quote, so hopefully by then this unneeded chaos will start to slowly cease to be. In other words, once it starts getting nicer and people start feeling that warmth and everything, and maybe they start sweating a little bit, because that does help get rid of germs, believe it or not, that perhaps this will die down. And by then, from what I understand, many places around this country and even other parts of the world will have the necessary vaccines up and ready to go. Oh, and we'll be safe from there. Or we'll be okay from there, I should say. Continuing on, I do say this, and I quote, as far as those postponements, etc., that I mentioned earlier, they, in my opinion, are being done to give hazmat crews and regular maintenance crews plenty of time to sanitize the areas, stadiums, small venues, etc., for the public. That pretty much is the truth right there, in my opinion. That's pretty much reality right there. That the reason a lot of these places are closing down temporarily for the next several weeks, 2 weeks to a month, is to allow not just people to be treated to see whether yay or nay they contracted this situation and possibly get vaccine for it, even if before they get it, but also the fact that it's giving regular maintenance crews and hazmat crews plenty of time to go around and go or wipe, clean the areas, sanitize them, make sure they are decent enough for transportation and for gatherings and all that in the future. This would also explain, ladies and gentlemen, why WrestleMania events like WrestleMania, BabsCon, which is short for Barry, BronyCon, Spectacular, and beyond, and several other events have yet to say when we have to reschedule, or we have to postpone, or we're just canceling outright. Because they're trying to look at the real facts, not just the media. And also they're looking at the fact that their events are scheduled weeks after the deadline, the 2 week to month deadline that's given. So if anything, I could see something like BabsCon rescheduling maybe for a few weeks after, say, Easter. I could see WrestleMania doing the same thing. You take a look at Major League Baseball saying that right now its plan is to open 2 weeks later than usual with its opening day, which would essentially, let's put it this way, basically we would be looking, if I could pull up the calendar here, the first official days were supposed to be the 26th and the 27th, with a full extension of it throughout the 29th to the 4th of April. We could be looking primarily, folks, at something around like the 9th or the 10th or even the 16th and the 17th at the latest for Major League Baseball to open up its regular season. Again, this gives plenty of time for a lot of the stadiums to be sanitized, cleaned out and everything, just to make sure nothing is effective. But again, there are other events going on even this upcoming weekend that are not going to cease to be, because they want to see maybe if anything will come of it. And if nothing does come of it, I think that's going to be a good sign, but we will wait and see. But like I said, this 2 weeks to a month postponement and all that for certain events, and so closures and all that, it's being done not just to give plenty of time for vaccines and treatments to be made, but it's also being done, ladies and gentlemen, to basically give the regular maintenance team and hazmat teams plenty of time to clean out all these areas and make them safe for the public, in my opinion. And then last but not least, I said this, and I quote, "So in the end, as a country, if not as a world, let's shut down this unneeded fear, pray and give it to the Lord above, for remember, He, the Lord, gave it all for us." And that is the truth. And that's basically what I said, ladies and gentlemen. I know some wording may have been out of place, but that is the situation in my opinion. That is how I view the situation, in my opinion. It's, I understand, like I said, I understand the fear and concern a lot of people have and everything. And, like I said, for example, on Friday, I had to help a lady carry out a cart full of 11 40-pack great value water cases. That's ridiculous. And you gotta wonder, is she gonna give it? Is she keeping it all for herself and her family? Is she giving it to family members and relatives, or is she planning to sell it online? You know what's funny is there was a picture that came up on the Patterson Neighborhood Watch Facebook page, and it showed a guy standing on the corner, I think in Turlock or somewhere, with a whole stack worth of water, 40, 30 packs, whatever, with a sign basically selling it. There have been reports of somebody, in fact this even made it on Twitter, of a guy, and even Frank Hill sent me this on Facebook, on my Facebook Messenger, of a guy that's stuck with so many cleansers and sanitizers because he bought them all up to sell them. And that right there is why we're losing everything. Why everything is disappearing. People are not buying them up to be like, okay, I gotta buy this up for survival. I gotta buy this up because we might be stuck in our house for months and years. No, it's more like, I'm gonna buy this. Oh, it's for $4.99. Ooh, I'm gonna buy this and buy more of it, and I'm gonna sell for $40 online. That don't fly. And now I'm believing that a lot of retailers, the one I work for, the other places out there, they're starting to notice this, and they're like, you know what? Screw this. We're gonna put a limitation. Or now you got counties coming up across the country and saying like, hey, if this happens, here's a number, you contact us, we'll take care of it. Because this is ridiculous. You don't prey on people's fears just because you want to make a quick buck. You want to make good money, get a job. That's what you do. So honestly, that's all I'm gonna say, guys. That's basically what I said. The only good thing coming out of this is, and people may look at it as PR stunts, and that's fine. The only good thing that's coming out of this is you got all your cable / phone / internet providers, who are all one and the same, most of the companies are, giving you at least a 2-month extension on your bills because of the situation. That's probably the only good thing people will look at. And then on top of that, you have Disney Plus. It's doing something that really surprised me, because the day I bought Frozen 2 finally, I did buy the movie, is the day they decide, oh, we've made the announcement that instead of Frozen 2 coming out 3 months from now in June on Disney Plus, we're going to premiere it this Sunday. I mean, look, give kudos to Disney. Yes, they got to do a lot of stuff. They got to shut down the parks, even though they seem to be committed to keeping them open until the announcements were made that, hey, until the end of the month, can you kind of keep them closed for safety? Give kudos to Disney, despite how you feel about them, despite the behind-the-scenes issues financially and all that Clownfish TV and all of them are reporting. Give them credit. At least they're trying to calm the storm by saying, hey, look, we know some of you can't afford to buy Frozen 2 digitally or physically, so you know what? we're going to put it on Disney Plus because we know at least you can afford that. And they're going to do it early. And heck, Rise of Skywalker is being released digitally early as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if it follows suit. But again, real talk, this is getting out of hand. I will provide what I said in the description. I may have to correct a few words, take certain words out because of, reasons. But that's all I'm going to really say, guys, on this, because to me it's getting out of hand. And being someone that works in retail as a cashier and sometimes has to push carts and basically just has to help people out with carryouts, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting stupid. It is getting dumb. I mean, the honest answer is this: just put your hands under the sink and wash them, but as much as you can. If you have to do it twice, do it twice. And then if you want to afterwards, like I do sometimes, put sanitizer. That's it. And you should be okay. And spray, if you have Lysol spray, wisely have it. Not in bulks, but like individually. Spray the house. Wipe it down. You'll be fine. And that's about it. That's all I'm going to say, guys. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll provide what I said in the description. I got to change up some words. But let me know what you all think. And I will talk to y'all later. Thank you all for listening. God bless. Stay safe. And I am out.